Hello. So I'm here to teach you about how to do a Dutch pour, or a blowout. I'm not teaching consistency or colors or style. What I'm teaching is how to train your muscles to move properly. There's something called muscle memory. And when you do a motion a certain number of times, your brain realizes, okay, this is how you do it, and you do it that same way every single time. According to Google, grain of salt, it takes 300 to 500 times of doing something before you get that muscle memory. I noticed that it did not take me nearly that much for me to learn the blowout with the blow dryer. Everybody's different. If it takes you more, it just means that our brains work differently. It may take you less. So anyway, what I have here is, this is a cookie sheet. It's a deep one. You can also use a broiler pan. I have saran wrap, and I squirted it with water to hold the saran wrap down so that the blow dryer doesn't move it around. The paints we're using are going to be leftovers from a previous pour, and I'm going to make sure that they're all really thin, so that it will go as far as possible. So I'm going to start with a base. The base is what's going to help all the other colors move. I'm going to start with light colors because eventually the number of times that we do this, the colors are going to get darker and darker because the colors will mix. So, starting with some pink and white. When it's really thin, you want to put your blow dryer on low. Always remember to push that cool button so that you don't bake your paint. I got this at Goodwill. It was, well, half off, so it was $10. This is the best blow dryer I've found for my techniques. It does not have the adapter. It works. So I've been dealing with a concussion, so if I forget words, sometimes I slur my words. I'm really sorry about that. Feel free to turn off the sound, turn on your music, whatever it is you need to do to deal with this or to get through it. I got no problem with that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and blow this. I'm going to blow it on low because the base is really thin. When you hold this, you usually want to be at about a 45-degree angle. This is going to give you the best overall coverage. If you blow straight down, you're going to get a big splat, and then you're going to have a little tiny bit of paint to work with later. I think that we're all familiar with that technique, right? At another angle, this makes the colors blend more and it can go further. I like the 45 degrees. As I said, my muscle memory is pretty good for my right hand. For my left hand, I need to practice. So I'm in the same boat as you are. Anyway, I'm going to start on low and I'm going to blow it. You need to make sure that you always blow into the base paint. Okay, low. There you go, push that button. And you're just moving your hand around to teach it, your muscle, your arm, your wrist, everything, how to move. A little something that you are probably also aware of is when you run out of paint, it stops spreading nicely. So imagine this is your base. Eventually that base is going to start to dry out, and this is what you're going to get. You don't get the beautiful wispy combinations. You get that dead end, stop, not going to go any further. If you add more paint there, if you have enough here, it will continue to move. See how my white kept moving? It's because it has something to move to now. Just keep practicing. All right. So I'm out. So now I'm going to add another color. I'm going to add it right in the middle. Oh, that's pretty, well, that's pretty thin. Okay. It might be a little bit too thick. So I'm going to add some water to it. Remember, we're throwing this away when we're done, so it doesn't matter if the paint separates or anything. Okay. You may want to tape this down so you're not struggling like I am, or hey, let's just, whoops, let's move that out of the way. Let's get it wet so it sticks down. Okay, so here we go. So I did this. Now I'm going to do it this way. Again, I have muscle memory here. It is not the best, but it's something. You want to have a good range, so you're going to want to practice as many angles as possible, as many motions as possible. The important thing is don't ever go straight down. Whoop. I'm going to do it on a little bit higher because that was a little bit thicker. Okay. We're not trying to make a design. You'll notice that it made a great design. What we're trying to do is train our arm, wrist, fingers, brain, everything. Okay? So now we're going to add more. I added a little bit of water to that so it's thinner. I'm going to go ahead and work on the other side to show you. This is going to be embarrassing. Okay. Don't forget, push a button, okay? I'm going to do it on low because I have no control. I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to go slower. You see the angles that I'm using? It's still at 45 degrees. I'm going to flip it. Still at 45 degrees. If I did it flatter, it skims over the top instead of pushing it, okay? This is the perfect thing to do when you have extra paint and you feel like you're wasting it. If you get too much paint on here, scrape it off into one of the cups and use it again. So I'm going to use blue now. I left this overnight, so it is pretty thick. I'm going to show you what happens, which I'm sure you already know what happens when you go straight down. But for those of you who don't know, angle is very important. So I'm going to go straight down, going slow. This is on low, okay? You notice that there's no design, it just pushes it around. And now I have nothing to work with. You may like that design. That may be exactly what you're looking for. Excellent. I'm going to do that again on high and show you what happens. And it should kind of be a little messy. So you'll notice that we took the paint and we did a splat. But because it was on high, it had enough force to move the rest. Consistency of your paints is very important. Let me see. So if you practice this 20, 30 minutes at a time, you're going to get in a good, 50 repetitions. You're on your way to getting that muscle memory. The important thing is that you get the muscle memory the right way. So don't get the muscle memory going like this. Try it all different ways, different angles. This will make it spread more away, leaving, a spot. So just practice, enjoy it. This is great cleanup. Anyway, I hope that this helped you. I strictly do these videos only to help other people. I would like to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you so much. It makes me feel so special. And I am not looking for money. I just, you know how they do that, Patreon. Anyway, I'm not in it for that. I learned everything I know from either experience or YouTube. I started a year ago. So this is just me giving back. If you found this helpful, please let me know so I know I'm reaching people. If you do a blowout and you say, hey, I can do this because I practiced, please show me your art. I would love to see it. So anyway, enjoy the journey.